Hello and welcome to Our Ventura TV. I'm MB Hanrahan, and today my guest is Debra Tygell. And Debbie, you are here today in your capacity as the, let me get this straight, the coordinator of the Ventura County Arts Council's Artist in the Classrooms program. And I will put it out there, you also were a teacher for over 19 years in Ventura Unified School District, bringing that to the table. Okay, for people that don't know, what is the Artists in the Classrooms program?
The Artists in the Classroom program has been going on for over 30 years.
Wow.
And we place artists, dancers, actors, musicians, writers in the 20 school districts in Ventura County.
I didn't even know there was 20 school
over
districts.
140 elementary schools. Some school districts only have one school, others have many schools. So we place these professionally trained visual and performing artists in the classrooms for 8-week residencies.
Wow.
They transform classrooms and cafeterias and all-purpose rooms to art studios, music studios, theater workshops, writing workshops, and they empower and bring such creativity and individuality and empowerment to each of their students.
Well, everybody knows that arts education in schools is often lacking. It's often lacking. So is it that the you as the coordinator, how do you get these artists and how do schools find you, and then how does it work?
Well, the schools find us. They can go on the website for Ventura County Arts Council.
Okay.
And they can reach me on my email at education@vcarts, plural, artscouncil.org.
Okay.
They can also call our office.
So the teachers have to know about how do they even know that this is something that exists?
Well, the teachers receive the catalog of all the classes and the roster of all the teachers with a registration form.
I see.
And they're going to be receiving it every spring, and they're delivered to the schools, and it's also going to be on our website at the Ventura County Arts Council. And the great joy of it is that we keep enlarging our roster and engaging more visual and performing artists. And it's a unique program because each of these professionally trained teachers goes to the same class for 8 weeks. And the students and the teachers and the staff glean this great multi-generational experience, multi-curricular experience from these fine visual and performing teaching artists.
So is there any allowances for classrooms where maybe they would need some instruction in Spanish as well?
Yes, we have bilingual teachers, and also as a sign language interpreter, I can also offer my services upon request. But we have many bilingual teachers, teaching artists, that are fluent in English and in Spanish.
The Arts Council is very fortunate to have you as our coordinator, being also with your background in art history and dance. So as you're interacting with these artists, you're really probably picking the cream of the crop for our wonderful district. You've probably kind of gone over it, but maybe quickly, how does exactly it benefit the students, the teachers, and then the artists themselves, if you want to touch on any of those things?
One of my great joys is being able to give work to the artists.
Here we go.
Because when the artists go in the classroom, when they get the jobs, and they can apply with us on our website and my email, the students also see that there are professional artists, visual and performing artists, that have active employment,
right.
And that becomes one of their career choices, and it validates their passion. When you walk into a classroom and you see these actors and dancers and artists at work, it transforms these students. There is so much joy. They're totally focused, and they bring with them skills and talents that they carry home with them and carry throughout their lifetime, that they love to share with their friends and their family. And again, it really validates their passion. And it crosses over to language arts, social studies, multicultural studies, just across the board science and math, because all of these teachers align their lessons with the national and state visual and performing arts standards.
Right, and the teachers are right there in the classroom observing and taking in the instruction just the same as the students.
Correct, and they can carry on these lessons even after the 8 weeks.
They can learn.
Yes. So it's really a learning process for everyone, and after all these classes, they can't wait for another artist in the classroom to come back.
That's so awesome. So it's the program that kind of promotes itself in a lot of ways.
Yes.
So is it grants that the schools get that pays for these classes? Or, I mean, not to get too gross about it, but so say someone orders up a class, but then who is paying these artists? How does that work?
That's a great question.
Okay.
It can be the PTA or PTO.
Right.
It can be funds that they've received that are earmarked for the arts.
Sure.
We also have some terrific community sponsors that help those schools that need help.
Yes, subsidize it or scholarship-like. Okay, great.
And so it runs the gamut from the grants that we receive. We're supported also by the National Endowment of the Arts and the California Arts Council, as well as local community sponsors.
Right. Okay, so it's also good because it makes the school have some skin in the game when they recognize we want to buy into this. You are a nonprofit. We're not selling anything here. Just saying this is really of the educational variety, 100%. So the population you serve, you said it's all these different school districts in the Ventura Unified School District because it's a county-wide program. So we're running the gamut of all types of kids, right?
Actually, most people don't know that Ventura County has 20 school districts running from Ventura. It could be Mupu, it can be Ojai, Oak Park, Pleasant Valley School District, Oxnard, El Rio, Hueneme. It's a huge swath of school districts.
So the population is it's Ventura's population. It's us.
Yes, and we all speak the same language in art, dance, and music.
Right. Well, it's obvious that you love and have huge passion for your job. But I'll ask the question, why do you love your job?
I love my job because it connects my background in teaching with my great affinity for the arts. It brings them together. I can help by supporting the students. And the students don't have to go out for the arts. The arts come to them.
Yeah, I like the idea. I mean, unfortunately or unfortunately, I've seen, that yes, there's art classes outside of school and there's this program and that program, but it's not always feasible for a family to be able to afford that. And when it's in with the mix, I think it's less of almost, I hate to say this, but like an elite experience. It's right there in the public school.
Correct, I agree. And just as a great analogy is when you travel, you glean so many more perspectives about how different people view the world. And it's the same thing with the arts. When you're through with your art or music or dance, theater class, you look at the world differently and you have a greater compassion.
Yes.
And a great cooperation and collaborative work with your classmates.
What always when I worked in the classroom and worked with you, not in this program, but other times, also that the students can see how all the other students creatively dealt with the single, whatever the teacher brought in as the problem to be solved, say, or the mission accomplished type of deal. They see that there's many, many answers to the same condition.
Yes.
And that where you get the whole class doing that as opposed to just a small elite group, I think is a huge lesson in itself.
Yes, and it can be many projects in a class or it can be a culminating project. And they take that validation with them for the rest of their life, and they are so empowered and joyful, and they feel more comfortable in their own skin, especially what's happening these days in our environment and in the schools and in the community. This gives them a safe place to express themselves. And often you have students that may not excel in other areas of academics, and art and music and all the performing arts are academics, which need to be validated, but it lets them see that there are myriad ways in which they can express themselves, and then it gives them more comfort to deal with other things that they're going to navigate with in life.
Well, just with what you said, I was thinking about how same thing. If what I see is that if a youngster or anybody is not do not consider themselves proficient in an art form, they don't do it. Whereas in this, everybody dances, everybody does yoga, everybody learns how to work with pastels. That's awesome. Where in the past, when arts education was a little more integrated, everybody had to do it no matter what.
You just touched on something very important, that their palette of life becomes more broad.
Yes.
And also their vocabulary is enlarged and it's applicable to all subject matter. So they really grow inside and outside.
One of the values that I've seen about obviously by teaching and working with different populations, is that especially with youth, they see where art comes from. So someone on the television or MTV or YouTube or or a mural on the streets, they feel like, I have an insight in that now. Do you ever get that from kids? Or, I know you have got that from kids, but okay. So how do youth feedback on this program? Do you have any kind of feedback? Just curious, it just occurred to me if there's any sort of way that, I don't know.
When you're
you
in
can't
a
really
classroom,
quantify it, right?
They can't wait for the artists to come back. They look so forward to that time. And the other thing is that you're bringing in people from all walks of life, all professions, all age groups. And it also helps them be able to communicate with people in all walks of life and all generation. It makes them more comfortable. So bringing in different people into the classroom really helps them throughout the world.
Right. It's not just their teacher who they see every day. Here's this new person that just maybe they're like, whoa, but they have to interface because it's not just orders coming down from the top. My experience has been is that the art classroom becomes a team, or a troupe, or whatever you want to call it, right?
And the art teachers never force them to do anything. They basically give them the language, the materials, the tools, and really want them to take it. Mm-hmm. And they give them guidelines, and they teach them art history. They'll teach them the the history of dance, multicultural aspects. They'll bring in all different types of subject matter to really show that all of these different art genres have many, many different foundations.
So in wrapping up, what is your dream or goal in developing this program? Because it has been going on for a while, and I'm sure you have some ideas.
My dream is that the artists in the classroom will appear in all 20 school districts.
Okay, all right.
And I would love to see that happen and have all these students have a stronger music, theater, arts, dance background.
I love it. One more time, how people get in touch with you, nice and slow. And this has been a real delight, and I'm with you.
Terrific. You can reach me at the Ventura County Arts Council at 805-658-2213. That's 805-658-2213. And you can also email me at education@vcartscouncil.org.
Beautiful. Thank you, Debbie Tygell. And thank you for joining us on Our Ventura TV. I'm MB Hanrahan, and I'll see you soon.